Hi everyone, I am Joe Manju. I am an IFBB professional bodybuilder. I own a gym and I'm an online coach with a company called EHP Online. I'm really looking forward to chatting to John, the supplement advisor, his podcast. Catch you guys soon.
Hey guys, what's going on? So I have a very special guest today, Mr. Joe Manju. As you guys may know, I did a brief introduction of how I actually met Joe back in the day, and it was thanks to him. He had a massive impact on myself and my choices there forth. So yeah, I just want to say welcome, Joe, and thanks for being on the show,
Thanks, John. Lovely to be on.
man. So can you tell us how you got started in this industry and just more about yourself?
Well, we started at a very young age, my brother and I. Our uncles were into bodybuilding when we were like probably 10 years old. And my brother was about probably 6 or 7. And we just loved bodybuilding. And they used to come and, pull a bicep and show us their muscles. And we were so impressed, eh? We just loved it. And then when I moved to Durban when I was 14 years old, my uncle took me to a gym in Overport called Body Image. And I will never forget it, eh? We're walking up the stairs and I can just hear up till today, I can just hear the clanking of the metal plates and the sound coming in there. And you just feel that rush of adrenaline almost. And you get in there and this guy really took his time, taught us about training. The owner's name was Kevin. And gosh, we just fell in love with it. Hey? We just from 14 years old, from there we used to train together. We trained at Health and Racket in town by the workshop. We were little kids, 15, he was 12, training in a weight section with guys that just looked at us like we were crazy. Back then, bodybuilding wasn't a big thing. It was very, very small. Eh? You never saw muscular people in a hurry. So that's how it all started. And from there, we just kept it going. Eh?
Awesome, man. So was it always your goal to or intention to actually compete?
Well, to be honest, the only thing I ever wanted to do was to look good in a vest. We didn't think about competing as such. We just wanted to look good. We wanted some muscles. We wanted a bit of abs. And, as things progressed and the opportunities came along, we decided to try the competing route. And, hey, it worked out quite well.
So what age was your first show?
I did my first show when I was already in my 30s. So probably like, I think I was 32 or so.
Yo,
I started late.
but I mean, although you started late, I mean, you have like so many accomplishments. Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Well, I've won a fair amount of shows. And my first highlight was winning the SA Champs. And from there, I qualified for the World Championships to present to Africa at the World Champs. And then obviously now to turn pro, I mean, gosh, that's like a dream come true, an impossible dream. You can't even dream about something like that, especially where we were coming from. I remember when Marius Jenner got his pro card, it was like, wow, we all were like so excited, overwhelmed because it was such a massive thing. Now it's gone a bit easier, but it's still an amazing achievement.
Yes, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. But I mean, has it always been your thing to kind of keep a more polished physique, like more aesthetically pleasing physique? Was that always your thing?
Well, we all work to our strengths, and it's what people like as well. When I started off bodybuilding, we were all in love with Frank Zane's look. We had posters of him all over the place, in magazines. I mean, back then there was no real internet presence. We couldn't learn stuff and be in touch with them and see what they were doing. So we used to go to CNA at the time and read the magazines on the shelf because we were kids. We couldn't afford the magazines. We would just sit there and hours on end, read all the bodybuilding magazines. And, so the Frank Zane had this aesthetically pleasing physique that just looks so majestic, I would say. And we always wanted to look something like that.
And were you ever like influence at all, like to try and go the mass route, or like never?
Well, if the see, everything works with what the people in the industry and the sport, what they basically subscribe to. So when I started training, the mass route was very prevalent. Everybody wanted to be big. They wanted to be huge. And even bodybuilding at the time, the guys were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And some people said, hey, you know what? This is not what we sign up for, the big guts and the distended facial structures and all these things. We enjoyed the look of the golden age, like the classic physiques. And that created, IFBB decided, you know what, let's create a division called classic bodybuilding to cater for the people who want to have that aesthetically pleasing physique. And the first year that it was implemented in South Africa, which was in 2008, that's the year I did my novice show, my first show, and in the classic bodybuilding division. And from there, the division has grown so much. I mean, if you look at classic physique in America at the moment, it's an offshoot of that. You can tell how popular it is and how big it is at the moment.
Yeah, 100%, man. And what were the biggest trials during like all the years? Like, was it to stay motivated for training or anything else?
Well, you know, circumstance is always the biggest trial. You never know what you're going to be faced with. And with me, I mean, when I look back at my career, I mean, I could have just as easily not have made it because of so many things. I mean, the first thing was I couldn't enter SA Champs for years because it was either during our fasting month, which we are now in Ramadan, or it would be just like it moves back a week each year because it's based on the lunar calendar. So we are fasting. We couldn't enter SA Champs. And if you can't enter SA Champs, you'll never become an SA champion. And, you know, from there, you're just basically languishing in the smaller shows and stuff like that. So I had to apply for a buy to enter SA Champs. I even offered to compete in a different province to qualify, but it wasn't allowed at the time. And Gavin Conlon at the time, who was IFBB chairman, he gave me a chance. You know, I talked to your chairman because of your cultural and religious obligations. You know, we'll give you a chance. And I competed at SA Champs 1 week after the fast. So we fast for 30 days with no food and water from morning to evening. And for bodybuilding, I know that's not the most ideal thing you can do. So, and obviously training late at night, cardio at maybe 3-4 in the morning. It wasn't easy, but that was the biggest trial to really push through that hard time and get in shape for a contest 1 week after a 30-day fast. And, you know, from there, you know, all praise to God, things worked very well and got into shape, and I won that contest that year, and that's how I qualified for the World Championships.
Yes, man. That's yeah, man, that's really amazing. And so you own your own gym now. Is it the same one as you always have had, or have you moved your gym?
No, I sold up there maybe like a year or two after you came to the gym to check it out, and I opened a new one in Overport in Sparks Road.
Okay.
More of like a boutique sort of gym, more like a luxury, better equipment sort of thing.
And was it always your goal to own your own gym?
It was, because it owning my own gym was really a turning point for me, because I was able to put in so much more work than a normal person could. I had to train sometimes like 3 sessions a day. You come in the morning. I mean, I had the luxury, because I had some weak body parts at the time. I could train them for hours on end while I'm at work. So I had to train calves maybe like an hour a day, 3 times a week.
Shit.
You know, I could do that because I was there. Your average person has to go to has a job that he needs to be at, and certain amount of time to train, then family time. I mean, I'm in the gym the whole day, so it really gave me a good boost.
And how would you compare nowadays the industry versus then, like a few years back? Like, has everything dramatically changed for you, or not really?
Well, when I started bodybuilding, when I say bodybuilding, I'm talking about the competing aspect of it. Bodybuilding wasn't a big sport. The athletes weren't very like well known or had respect or recognition or were famous or anything like that. I mean, the first show that I went to, I mean, being well known wasn't part of the goals. Yeah, you never thought people would know who you are. The first show I went to, which was a novice show, back then you'd be lucky if the first 2 rows were full. The only people coming there were the athlete's immediate family and maybe a few friends. And there was no pictures on social media or stuff to show that who you are, what you've won, or what you've done. And it's just a love for the sport. We never thought that one day it would be like how it is today, where everyone knows you and people look up to you and respect you and stuff. It was like an underground thing. And to be honest, we didn't care about being famous at the time. We just wanted to build muscle. And also what changed a lot since then is that like now when I look at stuff on social media and what people say and things, it's so different from the way it was back then. We were such fans. We just, we were in awe of everybody. Even if we play 6th, we look at you and think, wow, man, maybe your legs aren't the best, but look at those biceps, God. We should just like, we were like fawning over the guys back then. We knew all their names. We knew where they trained, read all the magazines. We followed them. And we never spoke shit about them and stuff because we weren't in a position to be anywhere near them. Nowadays, people can just pick someone's physique apart, yet they have no basis for themselves. They're nowhere near that sort of shape.
100%.
So I don't understand that like how things are today. But back then, we respected. I mean, if you met them in a gym with like you had respect, you talk to them and greet them, and it was a great thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's at the end of the day, all that like kind of respect is gone. I think most people today like they actually don't show the kind of love that they used to back in the day when it comes to training and just competing.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro.
Yeah, no, so it's sad, man. But do you think there will ever be like a turning point where things will change, or is social media just kind of ripping everything apart?
Well, there are some guys that keep it real. The sad thing about social media is that the people who are really great and really in the know are often the quietest, and the people that seem to just blow their own horns and think they're so great, they make the biggest noise. So I'm not sure how people can discern like today who's really someone worth listening to or someone to follow and who is just blowing hot air.
Yeah, no, you're true, man. And over the years, was there any specific person you met that kind of influenced you like a lot?
Well, if I look back, I will never forget the first time I actually saw a guy with the contest level physique. And it was at that same gym where I started. And it's a very famous bodybuilder in the country called Naeem Ali.
Oh, yes.
And, I'll never forget when we saw him the first time, we were just like, if you didn't stare, you weren't a fan of bodybuilding. You didn't care who was looking at you, you just had to stare. The guy was that good. And more than that, he carried himself like very well, and he was always well put together, and for lack of a better word, the guy was a specimen. And he had his picture on the wall as you enter the gym on the right hand side, and every single day you walk in, you look at the picture, you train. When you're walking out, you look at the picture again and walk out. It was like you couldn't ignore it, because back then, if you saw a guy with muscle, that was 1 in a million. You never saw that.
Yeah.
Especially at contest level physique when we started. It was like things you only saw in magazines.
And
then after that,
sorry, you can carry on.
Yeah, then after that, when I started developing quite well, there's another well-known trainer and bodybuilder in Durban called Salim Rehman, and he gave us a chance to train with him and some other contest bodybuilders like Gavin Pillay. And training with guys who were like so much bigger and stronger than you, that really made us up our game. And we had a crew of guys that we used to train with back then. We're just hungry, eat, sleep, breathe bodybuilding. And that took me to that gave me a really big boost to come up a level. And he's the one that told me at the time that, you know what, stuff that I still maintain today is not to play the size game, to emphasize on conditioning, to keep symmetry and proportion and balance. And, you know, he helped me get in shape for my first show, which was the KZN Novice 2008. And then, yeah. From there, the one other guy I must mention is who I met quite later on, who became like a brother to me, was actually two guys, Chris Fitzpatrick and the late Michael Jubison, who I really miss terribly. Think of him all the time. I mean, we should spend years training together, hours in a day. I mean, Mike was so, you know, passionate about the sport. If you told him train for 3 hours, he'd smile and you'd love it. He didn't want to go home. The guy would lunge in his driveway. He'd do all sorts of crazy things, but he kept us going. But the turning point for me was what I learned from Chris. You know, I always tell people that real intelligence is knowing who to listen to and who to take advice from. I'll never forget, they invited me for a training session once. They said, you know what, we see you here all the time. Come train legs with us one day. And if you know Chris Fitzpatrick, he's known as Squadzilla for good reason, you know?
Yeah.
And after that first session with them, I realized, gosh, you know what, I need to be here. I invited myself over there to beat me with a stick to get me out there. I was forced and go and train with them every day, whether they liked it or not. I just made myself comfortable in there, and you know, I never turned back. And they were trained by Neil Hill at the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure Neil Hill is quite a famous trainer.
Yes.
They would train Flex Lewis, and we followed his programs, and you know, his training programs were quite intense. I think it's called Y3T, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And but the main thing that I learned from Chris was the range and the contraction and the, you know, like how to really feel what you're doing is right, not just throwing weight up and down or doing sets and reps on end. Like sometimes we used to do like a tricep push down with maybe 3 or 4 plates, screaming and suffering, and an old lady next to us is doing like about 7 or 8 plates and looking at a big bodybuilder like, what are you doing? Laughing at us. But it wasn't about the weights. The technique that he taught me then was the basis of everything I do today. And most people don't do that. They just bang weights up and down, throw heavy weight. I mean, I've seen some girls on social media leg press more than me. So it's weird.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you like right in the beginning, you really hit the nail on the head where you like you want to give back almost how others gave back to you, you know, in your initial phase, because you know how much it meant to you. So it was kind of like it was kind of like you did the same for me. Like when you were like, no, you can come for a session. I was like, what? So I mean, I think that's really sorely missing today. You know, I don't think people realize what kind of effect being like kind to someone can actually do for them and their like lives in general.
Gosh, I totally agree with you. Hey? I mean, now when people come up to me with the same sort of attitude that I had back then for guys we looked up to, you know, it's just so humbling, because back then we used to kill to even listen to someone tell us something about training or diet. I remember once Shamin Adams came down to Durban for a seminar. I think USN brought him down, and somehow I had a friend in this came and they had a spare invite, and I went in for the seminar. And you know, the things that he told us back then, we hung on every word. Like, I'll never forget the one thing. He said, if you're not doing lunges, don't even think of competing, you know? And you know, like small things like that. I mean, stuff. I mean, there's so many coaches and trainers today that know so much of theory, of science, and there's so much information out there, books and knowledge, but it doesn't come close to someone that's a champion that tells you with his own mouth something that he's doing that worked. If that's any advice I give you today, guys, look around at the guys who have accomplished fantastic physiques and have the experience and years behind them. I mean, I've seen once this guy that competed at one of the bodybuilding shows here in Durban, and for some reason, he had really disproportionately built triceps, massive triceps, really overdeveloped. to the point where they actually decided to call him out to say that he used some sort of synthol or something like that to make those triceps so big. That's how huge it was compared to the rest of his body. But when I looked at him backstage, I could see there was no way it was oil. It was really hard, striated muscle. Then I realized this guy is doing something that's making his tricep build like that. I need to go to wherever he is and watch what he's doing. He's doing something right. Even though he's a novice, he's just starting out. The way he's doing something is working phenomenally well for him to look like that. So you need to look at people and see what they've done and how they've done it. And that is more valuable than any other type of information.
Yeah, man, that's the way. Like, that's real solid advice, man. And then what is your secret to being in the game so long? Is it still like your outright passion, desire? What is it?
You know, we don't ever think that we're good enough. We look in a mirror, you don't see this fantastic physique. You just see all the holes and all the things you need to fix. And I think that even though you have a healthy appreciation of how far you've got, and you can appreciate the work and the physique that you've built, you always see the ideal in your head and you try and strive towards that. So it's easy to be motivated when you're on a mission. The mission doesn't come to an end.
Can I ask you, like, how did becoming like an IFBB president happen? I think for the KZN region, right?
Yeah, I was the chairman for about 6 or 7 years, and until I turned pro. Obviously, with the split in the divisions, we had to go our separate ways. But at the time, there was no chairman for KZN, and we just thought that year, that was the year that I came back from SA Champs and from the World Championships. I decided, I'm taking a few years off. Let me try and put something back into the community and the bodybuilding community. So I just got in there, helped promote the sport. Just groom some new guy, new talent to come up, and it was very enjoyable.
Oh, great, man. And then can you tell us more about EHP in general? Because I know you said you got a gym, but apparently you also have a supplement line.
Yeah, well, we have a small supplement line that we sell mainly in our gym, which we haven't really put it out there too much yet. So the supplement line at the moment is just like a whey protein, but we do like designer flavors. Some you probably haven't heard of. Like, I'm not sure if you know what's barfi.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
We have a barfi flavored whey protein, which is like a sort of, how can I say, like a condensed milk cardamom sort of flavor. And then we have like other designer flavors like Belgian chocolate, and it's mainly for the flavor because, we have so much whey protein, and it's, we want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, we just design flavors that people don't normally have, and for a specific, demographic, should I say?
Yeah. And
I'll send you some. You can try it out.
Thanks, man. Was this something that you always wanted to do, like over the years, or was it just something that came up like quite recently?
Well, in the course of our own training and nutrition and supplements, we obviously think it would be nice if we had something like this or something like that. So we just dabbled in a bit of everything, and the guys that buy the protein, they can't use anything else. They're just so used to the flavor. It's something so different, especially in oats and stuff.
Yeah, sorry, man, are you guys looking to like expand your line eventually, like for obviously pre-workouts being like a big seller in South Africa and maybe amino acids?
Well, for us, we aren't really how can I say a full-on dedicated supplement line.
Yeah.
We're catering more to our clients, our online clients, and the clients at the gym and stuff like that. It's like it was more like a for fun thing for us to do, but the response was so good that we're actually thinking of really focusing more on it and really seeing how much it can grow.
Yeah.
you know, like with us, we do so many things with the online clients and the training at the gyms, and there's not enough hours in a day to really focus too much on other things. But you know, we love the sports, anything to do with it. So as far as pre-workouts and amino acids go, I don't use any pre-workouts.
Okay.
I've never. It just didn't feel good to me. But lots of people really, you know,
Yeah.
respond to it, and with me, it just makes me very jittery, and I feel a bit like out of sorts. I like to be in my own calm Zen sort of mind.
I think from like all the people I have been chatting to, everyone says always the same thing about you, that you always are like very like calm and Zen. Is that someone you've always been?
Yeah, you know, I'm lucky that I had people over the years who groomed me and taught me how to be calm under pressure. And you know, it's something I pride myself on. Always try and stay calm.
And can you tell us more about your EHP online training and how everything works, and how does one become a member, just for those listening?
Oh, well, we do online coaching for guys who, well, all the way from beginners, people with basic fat loss, all the way to guys who want to enter contests and body transformations and stuff to look like a contest level physique, even if you don't want to compete.
Mm.
So what I basically do is I focus more on the training, and the diet and nutrition. Like everything now, when people ask me about bodybuilding and stuff, the first thing they ask is about, like, gosh, what do I take? Do I take this? Do I take that? Or no one asks about training. And this sport is the training that you put in. That's the main thing. I mean, I've seen guys that have come from very, very difficult beginnings, and you know, we haven't got money for like supplements and even food. That just train their freaking, they train like crazy all the time, and they've built amazing physiques because the training is so discounted today for some reason. I don't know why. So, and people don't train with the intensity and the love that they used to. It's so scientific now, to the point where, you know, the passion for it is not there anymore. Almost.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. I think back in the day, it was like a lot of emphasis on training, and you know, everyone just wanted to be hardcore, like a Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler, Branch Warren. But now, as you said, everything's like kind of diminished slowly. It's like fading away, you know.
Yeah, I spend like lots of time in gyms, and I trained at my gym, but I train all over the place. You can always get a squat rack. The guys haven't really squat too much anymore. Even deadlifting, especially the strong men and the powerlifter guys doing the deadlifts. And with us, the bread and butter of it all, you know, the basic compound lifts. We really focus on it, and you know, you don't get tired of doing it.
Yeah.
It seems like nowadays, for some reason, they say that you know, for example, we doing the basic things all the time, and the fancy things now and the fads coming in are more attractive to people nowadays. They don't want to do the regular, like the boring basic stuff that you and I both know work. And you know, this goes for everything: business, fitness. There is no real secret that you don't know. What's difficult is doing things consistently. The process is what matters. You know, the variety just kills.
Yeah, that's true, man.
You got to be able to do the same thing day in, day out, and be enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think we've also seen like a big rise of if it fits your macros and everything like that. I mean, back then there wasn't any kind of if it fits your macros. It was just you eat your chicken, you eat your broccoli, your brown rice, and now like everything changing to kind of cater towards, you know, people that don't want to stay on course, you know.
You know, there's so many things that are scientifically proven that are in theory supposed to work. And I don't dispute. I mean, you can't go against the data as such.
Yeah, you can't.
but for some reason, I can't explain it. For some reason, bodybuilding is more than just the science part of it. There's an experience and art part of it as well. I mean, I would rather work with someone like the late Chris Scott or like Grant McDonald, like guys who are old in the industry, that have seen everything come and go, than some random dude now that just, probably did some courses, learned a few things, and is a coach all of a sudden,
Man. And what future plans do you have for yourself when it comes to competing and just in general business? Do you have any plans?
Well, when I went to at my last show, I really got to see firsthand what I need to do to be competitive at the pro level.
Yeah.
And I need to really put on a lot of size to be in line with the American guys there. The guys were like really big. So, and the way they judge the contest there as well, the size really plays an important role. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you're being overshadowed by guys so much bigger than you. I mean, but to give an idea, for my height in classic bodybuilding, my cutoff weight used to be 83 kilos, and in the pro classic physique, my cutoff weight is 94, which is like a heavyweight bodybuilder. So I mean, and that's contest weight.
Yeah.
So my last show, I competed around 83. Everyone else is about 94. It's not the same picture on stage, eh? So I won't compete again until I can come up at least 5 or 6 kilos.
Okay.
If I do it, then I'll look at the show. At the moment, I'm only thinking of just building some size.
All right.
Some quality size without getting fat, obviously, and taking it from there.
Okay, cool. And do you have any last words for anyone listening on how to stay consistent and motivated and just everything else we spoke about? Any last words that you live by?
Well, basically, like I said, the best thing, take advice from the right people. There's so many studies and theories and stuff that are done in ivory tower. The studies change all the time. Like I always say, it's like reading a book on like World War II from a contemporary author who did his research and stuff. When you were talking to someone that were actually there when his mates stormed the beaches of Normandy, it's not the same story you're going to get from both of them. So, just find the right people. Also, that if I talk about like future plans and goals, as you asked me, ideally, I'd love to one day be able to open a gym that is really catered towards bodybuilding and strength. It's like an oxygen gym Kuwait sort of thing.
That'll be amazing.
With South Africa, there's so many guys that really take training very, very seriously. And when I was in Canada now, competing lately, when I went to the gyms there, gosh, we're so far behind there. They have everything that you can think of. Best machines, variety. We all the gyms here more or less have the same sort of equipment, the same sort of lines. And I'd love to one day do something like that.
Yeah, man. I think our industry really needs something like that, because it will stop people from trying to look to going overseas just for a training session when they can have it right here in South Africa,
Yeah, you know what? Fitness in South Africa is really big. From what I've seen, like overseas and things like, we have the most muscular guys in any country I've been to. Wherever I've been to, you hardly see guys with muscle. And in Durban, especially like where I'm from, everywhere you go, you see some well-built guys somewhere.
Yeah.
So the fitness industry is really big, and if you do your research as well, I've seen somewhere that apparently our fitness industry in this country is bigger than the United States. The actual what the guys are spending, the spend of it.
Yeah, geez.
So article lately, it's crazy.
Yes. Well, all right, Joe. I just want to say thank you, man, for your time and sharing your knowledge and your experience and everything, man. It's just been a real honor and a pleasure, man. Thank you again, bro.
Thank you, John. And I must tell you, it's really when I saw it was you doing these podcasts and stuff. I know it was you, and to see that you've done so well and brought it so far, man, I feel really, really proud that you.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, man. I mean, if it wasn't for literally, bro, like you, I probably wouldn't have been in this position to kind of believe in myself and think, there's actually real good people out there, So I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Right, thanks, man.
Thank you, John.
Then we'll chat again, bro.
100%, brother. You take
care. Keep well. Cheers, bye.
Okay, bye.